You guys want to learn a secret? This is how you get clan leader. Swap decks 2 weeks before a big tournament. Cause your boy is the Narukami clan leader in the house!
Threes that I love so dear, bring the power of a new era to me!
Your boy Lucas Rio here from Team Cardfighters United. And as you can see here, this is a Narukami deck profile pre GBT 12, cause that set just dropped and I'm super excited for it. Sorry this video is so late. I've had some pretty bad technical difficulties with the videos, along with some life issues because I'm moving into college this weekend, and I really haven't had time to post this or record this at all. On top of that, I'm sorry if the quality sounds weird. I am a little sick because of a bunch of really late nights and not having gotten a lot of sleep. But I did want to go ahead and make this video for you guys before I left for college. This is my clan leader Narukami deck profile. If you look here, shut up card as Matt calls it. Myself and one other person in the Narukami clan are Narukami clan leaders. So this is my deck. This of course is before set 12 drops. All the stuff for it has been revealed though. There are several changes I'm going to make. I don't think I'll mention it here. I will most likely be just making another video updating this deck when I get the stuff for the set. And of course, I will most likely be making it after the Florida tournament because I do not want you guys to just know my deck off the bat and then show up to the tournament saying, "Hey, you're Lucas from Team Cardfighters United. I know your deck now. Ha 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 ha." No. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. I'm going to start with the Stride Zone because reasons. All right, first, let's go on and start with the G-Guards. I run a single copy of Dark Element Dismal. Dismal has the resist ability, and when it's placed on the Guardian Circle, I choose one of my other rear guards, and until the end of the turn, that unit cannot be hit and cannot be chosen by card effects. Looking back at... I ran her for the... to counter other Narukami decks, but looking back now, I might just keep her in there because Dominate's a thing, and Dominate is scary. So, and that counters Dominate, so, yeah. Next, I run 2 copies of Sky Guardian, Supreme Dragon, Bulwark Dragon. Bulwark has the Thunderstrike ability. If you don't know what the Thunderstrike ability is, it came when new support for Dragonic Vanquisher came. I think set 5, I think it was. I'm not sure. But Thunderstrike is you use your abilities and bind the opponent's stuff, and however many cards in the bind zone they have is your Thunderstrike. So for him, you need 3 cards in the bind zone, but he gets 10,000 shield if you do. And then at the end of the battle that this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, for every 4 cards in the opponent's bind zone, choose up to 1 rear guard at rest from in your opponent's front row and retire it. So essentially, it's a free, I guess, worse Denial Griffin, because when you attack, the attack ends first, and then you use his skill. So you'll be able to retire the attacking rear guard, but the rear guard already made its attack, so it doesn't stop the attack by retiring it. It just gets rid of the unit after it attacks. It's a pretty decent card, especially when you combo it with Dragonic Vanquisher. All right, my last G-Guard, I run 2 of the brand new G-Guard, Sky Guardian, Supreme Dragon, MP Dragon. G-Break 1, unflip a copy of a G-Guardian, and when it's placed on the Guardian Circle, when you pay the cost, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retire binds it. And then only after they retire bind one. If they have 2 or more rearguards than you, they retire another one. So essentially, if you have no rearguards on the board and they have 3, you use him, they're forced to retire bind 1, and then because they'll still have 2 more rearguards than you, you're forced to retire another one. But he is like one of the best G guards for Narukami right now. Probably my favorite G guard overall, because Narukami does not have a whole lot of stuff that retire binds during the opponent's turn. Alright, now we're going to move into the main strides. I run a single copy, and which will be taken out, don't worry, of Snow Element Blizza. Counterblast 1, unflip a G unit in the G zone. And when he attacks, he gets plus 5,000 power for every face-up G unit in the G zone. Excuse me. He is our Lord and Savior, so why not? But he is an overall good card for if you really, really, really have no options first stride, or you just want a huge powerhouse mid-game. That's pretty much all he's there for. And then he's an unflip, so Turbo GB8. Why not? Alright, next I run a very strange card. And I know what you guys are going to say. It's going to be really, really weird to run it in here. But it makes sense. I run a single copy of True Eradicator Finish Blow Dragon. Finish Blow skill. He's got a once per turn, GB2, Counterblast 1, unflip a G unit in the G zone. Until the end of the turn, he gets, when your opponent's rearguard is put into the drop zone due to the effect of one of my cards, he gets plus 5k and an extra critical. He does have a second ability for Gauntlet Buster that is, if he had a heart with Gauntlet Buster, the opponent chooses a rearguard and automatically retires it. But since there's no Gauntlet Buster in this deck, it is no reason to worry about that. Essentially, with him, you use the skill, and then you combo off the rest of your skills in the deck itself. And you are able to get, I think I've managed to get 15k and 3 crit on like second or third stride. So that's scary, second or third stride. And it does help. I don't know if I'm going to keep him in there though, because there is some better support. Next, I run a single copy of Conquering Supreme Dragon, Voltec Zapper Dragon. Then he's got the Thunderstrike 3 ability. When this unit attacks a Vanguard until the end of the battle, this unit gets plus 10,000 power and auto Counterblast 1. At the end of the battle, you may pay the cost. If you do, for every 2 cards in the opponent's bind zone, my mistake, your opponent chooses one of his or her rearguards and retire binds it. So if the opponent has 6 units in their bind zone, they choose 3 rearguards and retire bind them. So that's huge, like early game. That's why I love using him like mid to early to mid game, because the opponent has called what they need to call. You ride that, the opponent's board is pretty much wiped for the price of a counterblast. All right, next I run 4 copies of Conquering Supreme Dragon, Dragonic Vanquisher Voltage. Voltage is the original Dragonic Vanquisher stride. Voltage's skill, unflip a copy of himself, and he gains the ability, when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, the opponent chooses one of his or her rearguards and retires it, and I choose 2 units in their drop zone and bind them. He also gets a continuous G-Break 3 ability. During your turn, all your units in the front row gain plus 3,000 for each card in the opponent's bind zone. There is another art for Voltage. I plan on getting 2 of that and keeping 2 of this, so as to have a beautiful, beautiful G zone. But he is good for first stride and for last stride because of combos you can pull off. Use him first stride. You don't have to worry about the G-Break 3 ability. If you do worry about the G-Break 3 ability, just G-Guard. Just G-Guard before you stride. That's all you pretty much have to do there. But he's a really, really good card. All right, next I run 2 copies of Conquering Supreme Dragon, Dragonic Vanquisher VMAX. This is the newest of Dragonic Vanquisher stride, excluding set 12. His skill, Gem Break 3, Thunderstrike 5, Counterblast 2. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked the Vanguard. If your opponent has no rear guards, you pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards and deal 1 damage. And then he's got another ability. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, choose one of your opponent's rear guards for each face-up Dragonic Vanquisher, which means both this guy and him. If you have face-up copies of them, they get to attack one. He gets to attack one more rear guard for each face-up Dragonic Vanquisher. You use the second skill when you attack, and then the first skill at the end of the battle that he attacks. So, comboing damage, bueno. Finally, I run 2 copies of Conquering Supreme Dragon, Closer Dragon, the GB8 for Narukami. This thing right here gets huge really fast and is really, really great. His skill, when he is placed on the Vanguard Circle, retire all rear guards of all fighters. So which means your rear guards and your opponent's rear guards, if you're doing Battle Royale, everybody's rear guards, and bind all the cards in your opponent's drop zone face up. So those cards that were just retired, along with the drop zone, get bound of your opponent. So if you're doing a battle royale, everybody except your drop zone is bound. So and then he also gets continuous. All of your units get plus 2,000 power for each card in all fighters bind zone. So I think I've managed to get like almost 200k on both of my rearguard swings, and like almost over 100k on the Vanguard swing alone. He's insane, and he's a GB8. He's free. That's how insane that is. It's great. He is absolutely great. He is not a finisher per se, because he doesn't have that dangerous pressure other than power. So if the opponent has 2 PGs in their hand and you've only got 3 attacks swinging, they've only got 4 damage, they take 1 damage and just PG the other 2. Yeah, so that's why I run 2 of them in there, because if they ended up surviving the first one, you've got the second one that's even more power, because they will have guarded the first ones, and they would have done a bunch of stuff during their turn, and you would have been in a good spot after that. That's pretty much why he's in there. Why 2 of them is in there. But I most likely will be dropping them down to 1 of. Alright, now we're going to move on to the main deck, which I absolutely love. Alright. Moving on. Alright, my starter as of now is Aesthetic Draco Kid, Thunderstrike 1. When this unit boosts, this unit gets plus 2,000 to the end of the battle, so it becomes a 7k base. And then he's got a G-Break 1 ability. Retire this unit, and when any player's rearguard other than this unit is retired from rearguard due to card effects, during my turn, I pay the cost. If I do, the opponent uses one of his or her rearguards and retire binds it. So you use one of your skills to retire something on their field. You use him, retire something else. You're fighting against Kagero. When they attack, they denial griffin you. They retire one of your things. Boom, retire one of yours. It's a really, really, really good card. As long as something is retired during your turn. That's pretty much all the requirement is. All right, next. This is probably the weirdest part of the deck, I believe, that you'll say, because Narukami, known for 12 crit, known for huge, just dangerous pressure. I play what I like to call Drawkami, where it's still dangerous pressure, but also hand advantage. I remember fighting in the tournament and fighting against Link Joker. They locked 2 or 3 of my rear guards, and I was just sitting here like, oh well, I guess I just won't call any rear guards. I ended up with something like a 15-card hand for the large majority of the game, and they couldn't do anything about it. And all thanks to the 6 draw triggers I run. I run 3 copies of Honorable Monk Dragon, 2 copies of Eradicator Dragon Mage, and a single lone copy of Jin of Paranoia. Narukami, don't get me wrong, is a beautiful, beautiful clan. Really known for its hand pressure, really known for its field pressure, but it lacks in hand pressure, which is a big thing now because a lot of decks have a high sustainability because they can draw a lot. Narukami doesn't really have a whole lot of that. So, why not help it out with draw triggers? But of course, I do still run crits. I'm not insane yet. I do also run 6 crits. 4 copies of Lightning of Triumphant Return Resef. Resef is the Vanquisher crit, send it to Soul. You have a Vanquisher Vanguard, draw a card. The Vanguard gets plus 5k. When the Vanguard attacks, of course. 4 of him. A single copy of Malevolent Jin. The Margal clone crit, send it to Soul, gives something plus 3. And then the interesting crit that I found works relatively well in the deck. Ionization Eradicator Captus. He really only works on your closer dragon turn because his skill is when this unit is put into the drop zone from rearguard due to the effect of one of my cards, I look at the top 3 cards of the deck, search for 1 card with Eradicator. Because the only other Eradicator in the deck besides him is Dragon Mage, I most likely will not be looking for any. I reveal to my opponent, put in my hand, which I'm not going to, so I won't be adding anything to my hand, but he returns to the deck. So he's a constant returning critical trigger, which really, really helps because I only run 6 crits. Alright, lastly, of course, I do run heals. I'm not insane. This is Meditate Draco Kid. Also, the newest heal trigger for Narukami that I think really, really helps out in a tight situation. His skill, use Soul Blast 1. When this card is discarded from your hand for the cost of calling Sky Guardian Supreme Dragon MP Dragon from the G Zone, if the number of cards you have face up in the damage zone is 1 or less, countercharge 1. Which with Narukami helps out a lot because we do not have a lot of countercharge support. Set 12 gave us the biggest countercharge support that we could ever ask for. I'm excited for it. I can't wait. But he does help a lot when you G-Guard with MP Dragon. Especially if you have if you got no cards in your, if you got no counterblasts. Alright, we're gonna move on to grade 1s because I need to hurry with this video. Alright, I run 2 copies of Dragon Dancer Fantine. Fantine is Thunderstrike 2. Soul Blast 1, when it's placed on the rearguard circle, I get to draw a card. That's pretty much all she's there for, is more draw power. Not a bad card. Helps out in sticky situations where you really, really, really need that draw. Next, I run 2 copies of Training Monk Dragon. Training Monk is Thunderstrike 1. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, this unit gets plus 2,000 to the end of the battle, so it becomes a 9k attacker. And he's got an act ability, G-Break 1, put this unit into your soul. Choose one of your Vanguards with Vanquish in his card name. Until the end of the turn, it gets continuous. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, choose one of your opponent's rearguards, and that battles both the Vanguard and the rearguard chosen in 1 attack. So, say like you only have 2 face-up copies, 2 face-up Vanquishers in your G-Zone when you stride into VMAX, and the opponent has 3 rearguards, and you can't really get rid of them that easily. You use him, and VMAX will not only be able to attack the Vanguard, but 1 other rearguard on top of the other 2 that you're going to be able to attack if you have 2 face-up Vanquishers in the G-Zone. So he'll be able to attack all 3, including the Vanguard, which ends up really, really helping. Anywho, next I run 2 copies of the Stride Fighter, Mighty Bolt Dragoon. I'm debating on whether or not to put a copy back in because, well, I don't know if I am, but I know I kind of want to, because having it at 2 of is like really, really scary. But essentially, this is what I went to grandfest with. I don't think I'm gonna change it right now, because it does leave room for other things. But essentially, if you call it, reveal a grade 3 from your hand, search for a Dragonic Vanquisher, drop a card, and then for the strides, for the drop skill, it becomes a grade 3 when you drop it for stride. That's about it. It's nothing special. Alright, next I run 3 copies of Chain Bolt Dragoon. Chain Bolt Dragoon is a fun card to combo off of. Once per turn, G-Break 1, when your opponent's rearguard is put into the drop zone, due to the effect of one of my cards, if I have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Vanquisher in his card name, the opponent chooses one card from his or her drop zone and bind it face up. If a card was bound, I get to choose one of my units, and it gets plus 2,000 power. This especially works well when you combo with Impede. Because you use Impede. Impede gets rid of 2. Dragonic Vanquisher gets plus 6,000. Chain Bolt skill will still go off, even though it's only once. Chain Bolt skill goes off. Another card gets bound from the drop zone. And you give the Vanguard an extra plus 2,000. That's an extra plus 8,000 for the price of G-guarding. That really, really, really helps against your opponent. Lastly, I believe, of course, for Perfect Guards, I didn't have the money for Anastasia, so you got the next best thing, Wyvern Defender Gold. Of course, got the Sentinel ability, the on-place, drop a card, Perfect Guard ability, but he also has a Return to Hand ability. G-Break 1, Thunderstrike 2, Soul Blast 1, and choose one of my rear guards and retire it. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted a unit with the Thunderstrike ability. I pay the cost. If I do, I return this unit to my hand, and the opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retire it. This is one of the cards that helped me get to plus 15k, plus 3 crit with Finish Blow. Along with this next card. This is Rock Climb Dragoon. Rock Climb Dragoon skill. Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, if I have a grade 3 greater Vanguard with Vanquisher in his card name, I pay the cost. If I do, my opponent chooses one of his or her rearguards and retire binds it. And then this unit gets plus 2,000. Comboing with him and gold, I managed to get plus 15k plus 3 crit on Finish Blow, along with one other card I believe is in here. Ooh, sorry, I am just beat today. Along with Aesthetic Draco Kit, that's what it was. Because you save Aesthetic for Finish Blow if you have the chance to. Anyway, next I run 3 copies of Martial Arts Dragon. Skill, Counter Blast, Soul Blast. When it's placed on the Vanguard Circle, only on the Vanguard Circle does he work. That's what frustrates me. But it's placed on the Vanguard Circle, pay the cost. If I do, I choose one of the opponent's rear guards in the front row and retire bind it face up. So he is good for that early game retire bind to go ahead and get your Thunderstrike abilities off on the ball and rolling. But he's also got a regular Thunderstrike ability, which is a rear guard, G-Break 1. He just gets plus 3k to the end. He just gets plus 3k during my turn. So 12k attacker during my turn. That's not bad. Alright, next I run 3. This is probably my favorite grade 2 in the entire deck. 3 copies of Cloudmaster Dragon. A lot of people don't run this card for a reason that I do not know, but it's so good. And this is what helps get those really crazy numbers during Closer Dragon. Thunderstrike 2. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle until the end of the turn, this unit gets plus 2,000 power for each card in the opponent's bind zone, and all your opponent's units cannot intercept. What? So essentially, you've got, let's just say, I've got enough for 20k power on my whole board from Closer Dragon. Call Cloudmaster. That instantly doubles to 40k. Jesus Christ. Heaven forbid you call a full board. God, it's just really scary when you see Cloudmaster get called during a Closer Dragon turn. Alright, and anyway, let me move on because I have to hurry up. This is the final grade 2. Demonic Dragon Berserker Chatura. He's got a continuous ability that is really sucky. He can't attack a rear guard, but he does get a continuous plus 3,000, and he's got a auto ability. When he gets an auto ability, you counterblast 1. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, pay the cost if you do, draw a card, and bind a card from the opponent's drop zone. That's all he does. I don't think he'll be staying in the deck because there are better things now in set 12, but he is a decent card either way. Because he's an on-hit, he's guard fodder and perfect guard fodder and stuff. He's pretty much there to draw those out, so that way the opponent doesn't be like, oh man, he's gonna draw and bind something from my drop zone, better stop it. So yeah. Alright, moving on to the grade 3s. I run 2 copies of Jaggy Shot Dragoon. Jaggy Shot kind of is a G-Brick 1. Counter plus 1 when this unit attack hits a Vanguard. Pay the cost if I do. I choose one of my opponent's rear guards and in the front row and retire it. That's all he is. That's all he is. That's all he does. He's similar to close in Chatura in the terms of he's there to stop. He's there to draw those perfect guards and those regular guards out. So that way, other turns and other things get hit harder. Next, I run 2 copies of 1 Strike 2 Hits Jin. I found it really funny when I found out that his name is actually what he does. He's got a Thunder Strike 2, Soul Blast 1, until the end of the turn, this unit gets plus 2,000 power, and a continuous ability on Vanguard and Rearguard. When this unit would choose a unit to attack, choose up to 1 of each of your opponent's Vanguards and Rearguards, and this unit battles all the chosen units in 1 attack. So essentially, he's... oh yeah, cool. I'm attacking your Vanguard and attacking your Rearguard at the same time. That's all he is. And finally, the coup de grace of the deck. The 4 copies of Dragonic Vanquisher. GB2. When your opponent's Rearguard is put into the drop zone due to the effect of one of my cards, he gets plus 3,000 and extra critical. That's the skill that I was talking about with Impede. That with Impede alone, you can get an extra 6k. And then with Chain Bolt, gets an extra 2k during the opponent's turn. And then, of course, we got the auto on stride ability, counter blast 1 when you stride. Retire bind 1 rearguard in the front row. That's all he's there for. But that is the deck itself. This was like so much fun to build. It only took about a month. I do have a story to tell. Let me clean all this stuff up because I've got a rant for a minute. It's really necessary. So please, please, please bear with me for a few moments while I rant. Go on ahead and rant. Okay, because I need to say this. These right here were probably the most expensive cards in the entire deck. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so of course, I didn't have the deck done when I got to Grand Festival. I was still missing all 4 of them, as well as a few cards here and there that weren't too expensive. I looked on TCG Player like a few days before. Oh, okay. He's only like 20 bucks a piece. I'll be able to afford it easy, no problem. I'll be able to afford it if I need to buy it, but I will ask around to see if anybody has any to trade or I need to sell it at a cheaper price. Whatever. We had about 30 minutes before the tournament started. And I was asking around, hey, do you have Dragonic Vanquishers? No, we don't have them. No. So many people didn't have Dragonic Vanquisher. It was upsetting. And not many people were there with Narukami in the first place. So I'm like, all right, oh well. I'll just go buy it from the vendors. I walk up to 3 out of 4 of the vendors that were there. None of them had Dragonic Vanquisher. I'm sitting like, what the heck? Why does no one have Dragonic Vanquishers? So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll just go check the last one down there. Maybe they have it. They had 4 copies. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. How much are yours? $30 a piece. Excuse me? Yeah, they're $30 a piece. You want all 4? Are you guys taking trade sales and stuff? Oh yeah, but we're not doing that until the start of the tournament. I need them now. Well, I'm sorry, sir. So I go around the other vendors, try to see if they take trade sales. Well, 2 of them didn't do taking cards and stuff for money and stuff. The other one wasn't doing it until like the end of the second round. I'm like, oh well, all right. I'll just go and pay for them right quick. I'll just pay for them. It hurt my heart so bad to cough up $120 for these things. It was so upsetting. But I ended up coughing it up. I made it to day 2. Only one out of TCU to do it. I sit down and am going through my deck, going through combos, and this guy walks up to me. Like, oh, hey, you got a binder, because I've got my binder. I trade binder with stuff with me, because you never know what you're going to find. I'm like, yeah, I got a binder. Can I? He's like, yeah, can I look through your binder? Yeah, sure, why not? I hand him my binder. He hands me his. I flip to the 3rd page of his binder. In it, 4 copies of Dragonic Vanquisher, 4 copies of Voltage Horn, and a bunch of other cards that I needed during day 1. I was like, whoa, dude, you've got Dragonic Vanquishers. That's cool. How much do you charge for your Dragonic Vanquishers? He looks me dead in the eye. Oh, $8 a piece? I'm sitting here spazzing out. $8 a piece. 8. Yeah, $8 a piece. It's not that expensive a card. I went up to the vendors yesterday and spent $30 a piece. Oh my god. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I was like, where were you yesterday when I needed you? Like, oh, I couldn't make it to day 1. That's why I'm here today. That's why I'm not entering the tournament. My heart dropped. I could have saved so much money if I didn't enter the tournament. But I am still happy I entered the tournament. Don't get me wrong. It's just that experience really messed me up. And the reason why I also told you guys that he had Voltage Horns in there, which, by the way, were also $8 a piece. That Voltage Horns were in there. Because there you can swap out a few cards in the main deck for Voltage Horns, which I really, really wanted to do, but I couldn't afford it at the time because they were $20 a piece as well. And I really needed to finish. I needed Dragonic Vanquisher more than I needed Voltage Horn. So, here's the lesson now, kids. Don't buy from the vendors. They are scam artists. And they know that you'll need the card, so they do it anyway. Alright, I'm done with my rant. If you guys look behind me here, you'll see the gloriousness that is my brand new Closer Dragon playmat, courtesy of our good friends over there at oh my god, I almost said TCU. G Reverse. They do awesome playmats. Bailey bought one of a Pokemon playmat that we did. Mac bought one of his Hellheart 8, and I bought the Closer Dragon playmat. It is absolutely beautiful. I want to say thank you guys over there at G Reverse. I will put the link in the description below. Please go support them. They do some amazing work with their playmats and stuff. Go ahead and like, comment, and share this video with your friends. Go ahead and get our name out there. Help us out, you guys. Go ahead and also subscribe to our channel. We could really, 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 really use your assistance. If you guys have any suggestions for us, please, please, please leave a comment down below. And I guess that is it. This has been your boy, Lucas Rio here from Team Cardfighters United. And always, please, 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 please remember, meta is absolutely and totally disgusting. Play something you like.